Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Haridev Krishna, Prabhuji.
Dandavat Pranam, Prabhuji.
You can hear me, Prabhuji?
Yes, Prabhuji. Am I audible?
Yes,
Also?
yes, Prabhuji. Yes, Prabhuji.
Hare
So welcome all for the morning Nityam Bhagavata sessions. Today we will hear the nectar from His Grace Haridev Krishna Prabhu from Canto 5, Chapter 13, text number 21. Prabhuji, over to you.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Firstly, I seek the blessings of all the devotees before we begin. So we'll be reading from 5th Canto, 13th chapter, text 21. Chapter is entitled Further Talks Between King Rahugana and Jadabharat. So text 21. Before we begin, we'll offer prayers. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Udire Nashtaprayeshu Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavate Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki Krishnaya Vasudevaya Devaki Nandanaya Cha Nandagopakumaraya Govindaya Namo Namaha. Hare Krishna. So this chapter is entitled Further Talks Between Maharaj Rahugana and Jadabharat. So we'll recite the 21st shloka. Rajo Vacha Ahonr Janma Kila Janma Shobhanam Kim Janma Bistvay Tva Aparair Api Amusmin Nayadrishikesh Yashakritatmanam Mahatmanam Va Prachuras Samagamaha Rajo Vacha Ahonrid Janma Kila Janma Shobhanam Kim Janma Bistva Aparair Api Amushmin Nayadrishikesh Yashakritatmanam Mahatmanam Va Prachura Samagamaha Raja Uvacha Aho Nrjanma Kila Janma Shobhanam Kim Janma Bistva Aparairapi Amushmin Nayadrishikesha Yatakritatmanam Mahatmanam Va Prachura Samagamaha. Word to word translation. Word to word meaning, translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Raja Uvacha, King Rahugana said, Aho, alas, Nrjanma, you have taken birth as a human being. Akila Janma Shobhanam, the best of all species of life. Kim, what need? Janma Bihi, with births in higher species like the demigods in heavenly planets. Tu, but, Aparai, not superior. Api, indeed. Amushmin, in the next birth, na, not, yet, which, Rishikesha Yashaha, by the glories of the personality of Godhead, Rishikesha, the master of all senses. Kritatmanam, of those whose hearts are purified. Mahatmanam, who are actually great souls. Vaha, of us. Prachuraha, abundant. Samagamaha, the association. Translation. King Rahugana said, this birth as a human being is the best of all. Even birth among demigods in the heavenly planets is not as glorious as birth as a human being on this earth. What is the use of the exalted position of a demigod in the heavenly planets due to profuse material comforts? There is no possibility of associating with devotees. Purport. Human birth is a great opportunity for self-realization. One may take birth in a high planetary system among the demigods, but due to the profusion of material comforts, one cannot gain release from material bondage. Even on this earth, those who are very opulent do not generally care to take to Krishna consciousness. An intelligent person actually interested in getting freed from the material clutches must associate with the pure devotees. By such association, one can gradually become detached from the material attraction of money and women. Money and women are the basic principles of material attachment. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu therefore advised those who are actually serious about returning back to Godhead to give up money and women in order to be fit to enter the kingdom of God. Money and women can be utilized in the service of God, and one who can utilize them in this way can become freed from the material bondage. Satam prasangan mama virya samvido bhavanti hritkarna rasayana kata tajjoshanat asvapavarga vartamani shraddharati bhaktim anukramishyati. Only in the association of devotees can one relish the glorification of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Just through a little association with a pure devotee, one can become successful in his journey back to Godhead. ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूप कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातां सहगना रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनासहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगना ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च नमः ॐ विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे नमो महावदन्याय कृष्ण प्रेम प्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्ण चैतन्य नामने गौरवतिशे नमः हे कृष्णा करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमोस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी श्री राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छा कल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यः च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा. So, I seek the blessings of all the devotees before we begin discussion on this shloka. The background of this is Maharaj Rahugana is being given an allegorical story on the forest of material enjoyment in this chapter. Jadabharat, being an expert preacher, understood that Maharaj Rahugana, being a king, sometimes people, when they are quite distinguished in terms of seniority, name, fame, etc., there is a tendency that we have a lot of ego also along with all these things. So Narada Muni also understood King Prachini Barhi, instead of directly telling that you are in Maya, the king may feel offended. So Narada Muni gave an allegorical story of Puranjan, and eventually Prachini Barhi, being intelligent, understood that that foolish living entity is non-different from him only, like that. The same way here, uh, Maharaj Rahugana is also being given an allegorical story on the forest of material enjoyment. How a person, merchant, Vanik, he thinks, let me go to the forest. And in the forest, there are so many precious commodities available for free of cost. All I need to do is take a little trouble going deep into the forest. Sometimes I may get some insects bites or some animals may be there. It's a little scary, but it is worth the struggle. That is what the merchant actually thinks. And he goes deep into the forest and trying to get some commodities and sell it in the city and make profits. So while entering the forest, there is so much of difficulty, and each of them are compared to the difficulty that the living entity undergoes in order to obtain sense gratification and be happy in this world. It's just like how that person enters the forest, the living entity also enters the material world, hoping for sense gratification. He knows there are some struggles, but he thinks the struggle is worth it because I'm getting so much freely available enjoyment. But as he goes deeper and deeper into the cycle of sense gratification, one understands that it is only filled with pains, like that. So, so many analogies were explained on how one works hard, accumulates money only for the income tax people to come and take away all in the form of tax. He becomes morose. And the example is given in a householder materialistic family, how the children are compared to children, wife, relatives. They're all compared to jackals, which suck the blood of the living entity. And Prabhupada in the purport says, in the daytime, in the form of demands, all the energy of the living entity is sucked by the family members. And in the night time, in the form of sexual indulgence, his blood is being sucked that way. So this is how the materialistic way of life is. And there are sounds of crickets, the bees, which are like the envious people passing comments and talking behind the back, causing harm, etc. So many difficulties. So therefore, Maharaj Rahugana is being asked, please get out of this forest of material enjoyment. And here, the verses here are all symptom of gratitude to uh, whom Jada Bharat, and glorifying the association of pure devotees and the rarity of human form of life. So here Maharaj Rahugana is saying, Ahonra Janma Akila Janma Shobhanam. This human birth is the best of all species of life. Even Kanakadas in that famous bhajan, Dasanagu, Visheshanagu, he says the same thing. 84 ಲಕ್ಷ ಜೀವ ರಾಶಿಗಳನ್ನು ದಾಟಿ ಬಂದಿರುವ ಈ ಶರೀರ. This human form, the Manav Sharir, is obtained after wandering through 84 lakh species of birth. And only in this one can inquire about God. Even the Mahabharata says, Ahara Nidra Bhayamaitunamcha Samanyamaitat Pashubir Naranam. All the naras, the animals, are doing Ahara Nidra Bhaya Maituna. But a human being has a tendency to inquire more. Dharmo hitesham adhiko vishesho. He can inquire about dharma. And what is dharma? Dharma means, who am I? What is the purpose of my life? Uh, uh, what happens to me after death? How do I decide my next destination? These inquiries only a human being can ask. But if he fails to do so, he becomes as good as a two-legged animal. Scriptures say like that. Even Shankaracharya says, to be born in Bharata Varsha is itself glorious, and to be born as a human being is even more glorious, and to get association of saintly people in this is even more glorious, like that. So the glories of human birth and Bharat Varsha all are spoken that way. And why it is the best of all species? Even Lord Brahma, just a minute. Sorry. So even so we were discussing how even Lord Brahma, after creating all the species, was still not fully satisfied. And when he created Manu, he also felt satisfied, and all the other species also glorified Brahma's creation. So I was hearing one lecture in which uh, Radhika Vallabh Prabhu, Prabhuji was sharing that how, if let us say some manufacturer manufacture some iPhone model or something like that. By looking at that creation, maybe the customers may be highly satisfied looking at all the features, etc. But when can that be the best product available? When the manufacturer himself feels satisfied because he has taken care of all aspects and he knows there is nothing better than this which can come out, like that. Same way, Lord Brahma also, after creating all the species, he was not satisfied. And when he created the human species, then he understood this is the best species that I have created, because here is a chance where there is an opportunity for one to understand about God. And we should also remember mm, uh, similar despondency was there in Vyasadeva. He wrote all the scriptures, but still he was not satisfied because he felt somehow that uh, I have not done the best welfare activity. But when he wrote the Srimad Bhagavatam under the direction of Narada Muni, then he became really satisfied. So, the best position for the living entity is to connect himself or herself back to the Supreme Lord, and that opportunity is only available in human species. And Mahaprabhu also says in his teachings to Sanatan Goswami, in human beings itself, there are 4 lakh species of human beings. And all the Gandharvas, Kimpurushas, many of them are also part of human species. And especially on this uh, Bhumandala, even the Jambudvipa citizens pray in the 19th chapter how Bharatavarsha is very conducive. Why? Because in all other heavenly planets, although there is a human species given, but still one doesn't have the opportunity to associate with devotees. Why? Are the devotees not wandering through the heavenly planets? We know Narada Muni, we know so many rishis, they wander in the heavenly planets. The reason is not because of dearth, but because of too much of material enjoyment, they are unable to take the benefit of the association of pure devotees. So here it is said. What is the use of an exalted position of demigods in the heavenly planets due to profuse material comforts? When there is too much of comfort, one cannot take there is no possibility of associating with devotees. It is not said there is no association of devotees available there, but we are not able to associate with the devotees. Although association is there everywhere, but one is unable to take benefit or associate. So many examples come to our mind. This month is Kartik month, and we know that Nalakuver and Manigriv, they how did they become cursed to become trees in Vrindavan? They were in the most uh, fortunate situation. They were on the banks of very close to Kailash, and they had association of Lord Shiva because Shiva is in Kailash and he's one of the Mahajans. So there was a chance to associate with Mahajans, and they were also bathing in the heavenly Ganges. So we hear that E Bara Karuna Karu in that bhajan. How it is said, Ganga can purify a person only after repeated association, but a pure devotee can instantly purify that person. And we see that same thing here. Uh, they were bathing in the Ganges, but bathing in the Ganges, they were drinking intoxicants. They were not dressed at all with any clothes. They were enjoying with the women. So there was a possibility of associating with Mahajan Lord Shiva. Association was available. They did not take it because of so much enjoyment. And in Ganges, there is a chance to get purified, but because of too much of enjoyment available, even Ganges they were not able to take benefit. And although they were bathing, there was no purification happening for them. But very soon, what happened? Narada Muni was passing by. And as soon as Narada Muni was passing by, Nalakuver and Manigri, they were so intoxicated. The ladies at least immediately came to their senses, covered their bodies with clothes, and out of respect and being ashamed, they started moving away. But Nalakuver Manigri were intoxicated, and Narada Muni had to curse them to become trees. And that one moment of association, even though it was a bad encounter with a devotee, happened to become a blessing, because the moment they were cursed, they immediately came to their senses, and they begged for forgiveness. And then Narada Muni said, okay, you will be trees, but trees in the courtyard of Nanda Maharaj in Vrindavan, where you can witness the most rare childhood pastimes of Lord Krishna, which is not even available in the spiritual world like that. So even the worst encounter with an elevated devotee can result in instant purification, repentance, etc., into the heart of a devotee. So that is the glory of association with the pure devotees. Even when Bhakti Prachar Parivrajak Swami Maharaj came to our temple, Maharaj was saying, Krishna desires to come to this world. One reason is there are some leelas which he has never experienced in the spiritual world. So he would want to experience such leelas, and for that he enacts all these pastimes. And one such pastime is the childhood pastimes of uh, Vrindavan, where his wonderful dealings with Nanda Maharaj, Yashoda Mai, and all other elder gopis. And that opportunity was given to Nalakuver and Manigriv, although they were not quite fit or ready for it. So that is the compassion of a devotee. Even if they're immersed in sense gratification, the wandering souls, pure devotees, they are great benefactors, because they come into the lives of devotees, in the lives of people, to help them go closer to Krishna. Like that. So uh, even we hear the power of association in the this one. I think one person by name Bratra Hari, he composed initially something called Shringara Shatak, where he was describing 100 beautiful qualities of one lady or something like that. And then eventually he got cheated by her, and eventually he became a great renunciate. Then he wrote Vairagya Shatak, 100 verses on renunciation. So he writes lot of verses, and one such verse I was hearing is on the uh, glory of association. So he says that associating with materialist and uh, moralist, or a moralist, and or a mediocre person and an elevated devotee. Three types of association. And associating with a materialist means that same water, when it associates with a fire pan, red hot pan, what happens? The water droplet only gets extinguished in a moment. Same way, when we associate with materialistic people, the living entity gets burnt by all the troubles of sense gratification, and therefore his life becomes miserable. So that is the association with a materialist. What about a moralist? It is like associating with uh, or moralist, or maybe uh, mediocre devotee. So associating with him is like associating with the lotus. So on the lotus, the water droplet very elegantly glides, and when somebody sees it, it appears to be like a pearl, but it is not a pearl. Same way, when we associate with either a moralist, we may appear to do lot of good activities, or we may appear to be highly selfless, etc. But we are still not exactly that. But then when we associate with the pure devotees, it is like when that droplet goes into the uh, oyster's mouth. Eventually, what will happen? Or into the shank or conch. Eventually, that will transform into the actual pearl, like that. So that is the benefit of associating with the devotees. Even on this earth, generally those who are very opulent do not take to Krishna consciousness. Prabhupada also used to say, in front, it is easy to go and knock on the door of a poor person, but a rich person, very difficult, because they'll have security guards. Even if there is there are no security guards, they'll have dogs, and they'll say, beware of dogs, which means please don't enter into my house, like that. So it is very difficult for devotees to go and give their mercy, and they are also not interested much, because there is so much of material comfort available. An intelligent person interested in getting freed from material clutches must associate with pure devotees. And by such association, one becomes gradually freed from the attraction of money and women. We can easily see when elevated Vaishnavas come to our temple and they give their association. That time, the whole world seems so meaningless for us. We feel we can just go on in their association. And why are we so much caught up with so many material things? So that is why it is said here also, as one associates, one becomes gradually detached. But more prolonged we associate, that remains, because of our conditionings. When they are there, we remain very elevated in consciousness. Again, we go back to our materialistic consciousness. So if one associates regularly, then one can gradually become detached. And Mahaprabhu also said, money and women are the basic principles of material attachment. Therefore, he refused to meet Maharaj Pratap Rudra, although so many of his associates canvassed that he is an elevated devotee. But Mahaprabhu said, no, he has money and women, and therefore I shall not. And eventually, Mahaprabhu, seeing the king's humble disposition and genuine devotion, gave his mercy and association. But Mahaprabhu warned us that one should not associate with money and women. And if we are serious about going back to Godhead, we should give up these things to be fit to enter the kingdom of God. And once we develop enough vairagya, then Prabhupada is also saying, eventually, once he has sufficient vairagya, he can utilize the same two things, money and women, fully in the service of Lord. So in that way, even though he is having both of them, but because he's fully detached from them and engaging them only in service of Lord, he can utilize those two things in a way to become freed from material bondage. That means it is a hope for all the grihasthas that the husband and wife can um, help each other on their journey back to Godhead. One should fully utilize the partner, the spouse, and the money in trying to go closer to Krishna in the service of Lord, like that. And then Prabhupada is quoting this verse on the glory of association, where Kapila Muni is saying this to Mother Devahuti. Satam prasangam mama virya samvidam bhavanti hritkarna rasayana kata tajjoshanada swapavarga vartamani shraddha ratir bhaktir anukramishati. And what is this mentioning? In the association of pure devotees, what happens? Discussion of pastimes and activities of Supreme Personality of Godhead happens, and that is very pleasing and satisfying to the ear and the heart. Just like Machitta Madgata Prana Bodhayanta Parasparam Katayantascha Mam Nityam Tushyanticha Ramanticha. By cultivation of such knowledge, one becomes gradually advanced on the path of liberation, and thereafter he is freed and his attraction becomes fixed. So three things happens. Shraddha, that means faith increases. And then rati. Rati is taste or attraction becomes fixed. And then bhakti, one's devotional service begins. So this is the glory of the association of devotees. Srila Prabhupada said ISKCON is a facility given for everyone to avail the association of devotees. So let us be grateful to Srila Prabhupada and try to take association of devotees and progress on our journey back to Godhead. And association means not just physical proximity. Association means six things. What is that? Dadati pratigrahanati, guhyamakyati prachati, bhungte bhojete chaiva. And in essence, association means willing to transform one's heart. And even in the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, what is association? Tadvidhi pranipatena. To the spiritual master, associating means first we surrender to the instructions of the spiritual master, and pariprashnena, we make humble inquiries on how to understand, how to apply this principle in our life, etc., and how to serve the spiritual master. And eventually, pariprashnena sevaya, we also render service to the devotees. So just through a little association with a pure devotee, one can become successful in his journey back home, back to Godhead. We also see, although here it is said human being is the most conducive, but association of pure devotees is so intense that even animal species get benefited. In the pastime of Shivananda Sen coming to Jagannath Puri, once there was a dog that accompanied Shivananda Sen and all the devotees, and they were all going to meet Mahaprabhu. And in Orissa, in one of the place, when Shivananda Sen became busy trying to pay the tolls to go to the next village, he somehow he had asked other devotees to take care of the dog. Somehow they were a little negligent and the dog got lost. And that day Shivananda Sen fasted because he thought this dog had come with all of us trying to get spiritual benefit and associate with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. But because of my negligence, I could not take care. So Shivananda Sen fasted for that whole day. finally, when they arrived at Jagannath Puri, they saw that the dog had already reached Jagannath Puri, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was feeding the coconut pulp. And that very same evening, that dog was leading kirtans, and many others were following. So this is the glory of association of a pure devotee. Even though animal species may one is generally not intelligent enough to accept Krishna consciousness, but pure devotees, they're so merciful. They try to benefit everyone. Hmm. Even Haridas Thakur told when he was asked what is the uh, benediction that you need, he said, uh, uh, I would like to be a dog in the house close to the house of a Vaishnava, so that I can at least get the remnants of their food, like that. So uh, pure devotees understand even an animal species in the proximity or in the association of elevated Vaishnava is so glorious. What to speak of a human birth where we can not just associate, we have opportunity to render service, make inquiries, etc. So much benefit can be done. So with prayers that we take, I personally take full advantage of all the facilities given by Srila Prabhupada. I would like to conclude here. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, Haridev Krishna Prabhu. Wonderful class, wonderful nectar in the morning. The only one thing which I found very much, and that one of the takeaways for me was the compassion of a devotee. You mentioned about how Narad Muni, facilitated both the both Nilakula and Manigriva, so that they can get the tree forms in the courtyard of Nanda Maharaj, and the Lord himself would deliver them. So such compassion, compassion nature devotees have. So thank you so much. Any devotees would have any other comments, questions, or thoughts? Please share. The lines are open.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, Dandvat Pranam. As
Dandvat Pranam.
nectarian class, Prabhu, you told about the association with the materialist and the pure devotee. What is the second one, Prabhu, where it is compared to the drop of water on the leaf?
It will stay attractive for some time.
It is association with whom?
Either we can say a moralist, or sometimes a devotee, but not a very pure devotee. Sometimes a mediocre devotee who has material desires and this. So that time also there is some benefit, but we look like pearl, but we are not still pearl, like that. So moralist also sometimes, who has no devotion at all. They may do lot of welfare activity, and we may also do and look very attractive, and everyone feels, oh, he's so selfless, etc. But real selflessness, yeah, even Prabhupada would say, the best charity is to reunite the lost child with the father. So looks like pearl, but not a pearl, like that.
Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you very much, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, Dandavad Pranams. Thank you for the wonderful class, Prabhu. If there is time, can you please just narrate the story of the dog, Prabhu, in Shivananda's case?
Oh, okay. So every year, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, being in Puri, the devotees in Bengal made it a regular routine that they would start their journey during the Chaturmasya, and before, just they would arrive for the Rath Yatra, and 4 months they would actually stay with Mahaprabhu. So Shivananda Sen was a wealthy person, and many times he would lead the entire group of devotees from Bengal to come to Jagannath Puri, and those who were poor, who didn't have enough money, he would sponsor their journey, their accommodation, etc. So once when they were all coming together, suddenly a dog started joining the party. And as they were coming, doing kirtan, etc., the dog was continuously following. So then Shivananda Sen started, he understood this dog is not an ordinary person. So he wanted to benefit the dog. So wherever they sat for prasad, he would give prasad even to the dog, and all were told this dog should be taken carefully till we meet Mahaprabhu, because um, then the dog will receive the ultimate benefit of seeing the Supreme Lord. Like now, and one place when when Shivananda Sen became busy going and paying some tolls, that time suddenly the dog lost its way, and then they tried their best to find the dog. Shivananda Sen sent his assistants, but they never found the dog. Finally, when they went to Jagannath Puri, that time they saw actually the dog had somehow reached Mahaprabhu, and Mahaprabhu was feeding coconut pulp to it and giving mercy. Why? Because a pure devotee was compassionate. The Lord is supposed to be merciful also to that personality, like that. So, and then once he received the mercy, he started exhibiting Krishna Prem. He started chanting Krishna Krishna, and he started leading kirtans also, like that. So, then eventually, the next day, the dog was not to be seen, and they all understood that the dog had gone back home, back to Godhead.
Thank you, Prabhu, for the nectar, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu, Dandavat Pranam. Thank you for the nectarian class, Prabhu. Prabhu, this dog episode was first time. Can we get some references, Prabhu, in any in Chaitanya Charitam?
Chaitanya Charitam. I will check, Prabhuji, which chapter. Anybody remembers the chapter also?
I'll check and let Prabhuji know, Prabhuji.
Oh, okay.
Balajugan Prabhu, I'll let you know.
Okay, okay, Prabhu. Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Any further comments from anybody?
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Dandavat Pranams. Thanks for the wonderful class, Prabhu. So when I was hearing this dog story, Prabhu, I was wondering this, due to the association, even the animals can become liberated. So in case of Bharat Maharaj, Prabhu, he was also in Baba stage. But what happened because of his attachment to the deer, we don't know what happened to the deer, and he also fell down, no, Prabhu.
Very
So how does,
nice question, Mataji.
how does it clarify, Prabhu?
Yes, our senior devotees, they explain, had had Bharat Maharaj also been in the association of other devotees, then if Bharat Maharaj was developing too much of material attachment to the deer, some other devotee would have corrected, Bharat Prabhu, you are too much in Maya now, you are not even chanting properly, like that. So that is the benefit. Even when one is trying to help other living entities, one should again continue to remain in association of devotees. Radhesham Prabhu gives this example of how the mongoose fights with the snake. So the mongoose, it goes, fights with the snake for some time, it hits the snake, but it doesn't continue to remain there for a long time. It hits 2-3 times and goes back to a herb called Vanaspati herb, where in case the snake has bitten it, that Vanaspati acts like an antidote, like that. Same way, devotees, when we go to help others, others means like materialistic persons, we can't, they are called poisonous because Vishaya, Vishaya is like Visha. Outsiders, even us for that matter, when we have desires of sense gratification, we are also as much as a poisonous snake. So when we go to outside world, people are filled with poisonous desires. When we associate with them, sometimes those poison may get inflicted on our hearts also. So we should quickly run back to the association of devotees. So Shivananda Sen, he was trying to help, but he was constantly surrounded by other devotees. So in that way, there was no possibility that his compassion could ever become misdirected. So that even when we want to help others, associating with other Vaishnavas is also very important.
Haribol, Prabhu. Thank you so much, Prabhu, for your answer. I understood very well. Hare Krishna.
Haribol, Mataji. Haribol Prabhu, the explanation, the question, it helped us a lot, Prabhu. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
It's the lack of association, Prabhu, for Jadabharata.
Yes, yes. And Prabhuji has put Sri Balaji Prabhu, Chaitanya Charitamrita, Antya Leela, text 16 onwards can be read for the dog pastime. Shall we end?
Balaji Govind Prabhu?
Yes, Prabhu. Thank you, Prabhu. Got it, Prabhu.
Okay,
Hari bol.
okay, Prabhuji. I think if there are no further questions or comments, we can end the session here. So thank you so much, Prabhuji. Once again, wonderful class. We'll end with Vaishnava Pranams. Vancha kalpatarubhishya prabhat vindubhyach patitanam vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Antakoti Vaishnava Vishal Prabhupada ki jai. Granthashwal Bhagavatam ki jai. Thank you so much, devotee. We will meet same time tomorrow morning. Hare Krishna. Dandavat.